Hello, my dear students. I am Professor Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya, Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, Mathura University, Roorkee. This video is meant for my PhD students, especially those who are going to pursue English PhD, English Literature, PhD in English Literature. In this video, I would try to elaborate the topic on the Sublime by Longinus. This is as per your syllabus under literary criticism. As I have already told you in my previous classes, the difference between literary criticism and literary theory. This is a literary criticism, not theory. The basic difference between literary criticism and literary theory is that in literary criticism, the formative structure of a writing, of a poem, of a novel is assessed, is evaluated. The structural form, the formatting, the usage of rhetoric and prosody, the usage of comma, semicolon, punctuation, the usage of words, sentences, the structure of the pattern. Okay, so all these physical aspects are generally evaluated to dissect in literary criticism, whereas literary theory is something else. Literary theory is broader version of literary criticism. In literary theory, the person who is going to evaluate or criticize through literary theory, he or she wants to move from the far away of what the writing wants to say. Basically, in literary theory, a theory is applied to the literary body, maybe a poem, maybe a novel, maybe a short story, and this way of explanation is called literary theory. Okay, for example, Franz Kafka, okay, Metamorphosis. If you want to read the novel, Metamorphosis, then you will see how the hero, the protagonist, one fine morning he found himself as an insect. Okay, so the literary theorists, they will try to explain the meaning, the inherent meaning, the subterranean meaning of a person who became an insect, why he became an insect, what is the feeling. So this is a broader view, a broader aspect, whereas criticism criticizes the poet's quality, writer's quality, quality of a poem, quality of a short story, quality of a novel. Okay, so this is in nutshell. So today I am going to discuss on the Sublime by the great Neoplatonist writer of the 100 AD, okay, whose name we attribute as Longinus. However, no biographical information is known about the author on the Sublime. It was an essay written in 100 CE, that is 100 AD. Okay, it is not the work of Cassius Longinus, because Cassius Longinus is a different man, okay, who was a rhetorician of the 3rd century AD, AD. Early version state the author as Dionysius or Longinus, only Dionysius or Longinus. So, offering the possibility that the work was written by Dionysius of Halicarnassus. So, this is the information about the authorship, the attribution of authorship. The conclusion of the essay has long been lost because of the lack of preservation. There was no scientific way of preserving the papers, and it left us, the readers, okay, with the extended fragmentation. Sometimes we you are reading a book, the book has got 90 pages, and after 90 there is no page up to, for example, 200 pages, and after that you got the pages of 201. So in between, what happened, what the writer wanted to write or what intended to write, you have to assume by reading these the 90 pages and the rest of the pages. So written in an epistolary piece. Epistolary means, epistle means letter, epistolary, okay, epistle, it comes epistolary. Dear Terentianus, so he is writing some Terentianus a letter, and the essay is written in letter form. On the Sublime, examines the work of more than 50 ancient writers under the lens of sublimity, sublime, which Longinus defines as man's ability through feeling and words to reach beyond the realm of the human condition into greater mystery. So his point is to examine the realm of the writer and the writing beyond what is in surface level. By its nature, the sublime produced by greatness of soul. Remember, sublimity comes from greatness and it comes from soul. Greatness of soul, imitation or imagery, imitation of life, imitation of pathos, and imagery, picturization. It cannot be contained in words because feelings cannot be contained in words, and Longinus often referred to its heights as reached by journey or flight. The usage of the emotion, usage of the words and sentences, it gives the flight. The meticulous the writer is, the better the writer is, the better and meticulous and impeccable the projection, the projection of the feeling. Okay, so Longinus focuses on figurative language. Remember, okay, not the lame language, but figurative language as a vehicle of such flight. Only the good language with figure of speech, ornamental language, remember, ornamental language, that will give rise to the writing. And he argues that it is not just the writer who is transported by the sublimity, but the readers too. So if I am reading, I am also making the journey with the writer. So The greatness of the writer is to take his reader along with him and flight. So, on the Sublime, directly influenced poets such as John Dryden, Alexander Pope, and the idea of the sublimity played a central role in the work of romantic movement, romantic literature of the 17th century and 18th century. This text, this sublimity on the Sublime, this text is adapted, and I am discussing this from Longinus on the Sublime. The name of the text is Longinus on the Sublime. Since it was written in Roman language, it was translated in 1899 by W. Rai Robert by Cambridge University. This is the authentic book. Any teacher who explains, they rely on this literature, on this book. So first of all, we must raise the question whether there is such a thing as an art of the sublimity or loftiness. Some hold that those are entirely in error who would bring such matters under the precepts of art. So art is something else which is a part of aesthetics. So there is no requirement, not needed any sublimity in writing. A lofty tone is innate. Okay, it is not required and does not come by teaching. So lofty tone, greater aspect, it comes spontaneously and it cannot be taught to any writer. Nature is the only art that can compass it. Only the nature can show you the beauty. Works of nature are, okay, the few of the critics say that works of nature made worse or altogether feeble when wizened by the rules of art. So some negative critics who says that the beauty of nature cannot be replicated in art, in writing, and if somebody does, it is actually killing the beauty of nature because it cannot be done. But maintaining this, that this will be found to be otherwise if it be observed that while nature as a rule is free and independent in matters of fashion and elevation, to nature a beautiful rose and an insignificant flower in the same garden has no difference, because the wind will blow with the same touch, the sun will illuminate, the sun will provide the same light to the rose and to the insignificant flower. A withered yellow leaf of a tree and a green leaf of a tree will get same treatment from the nature. So since nature cannot be biased, and free and independent in matters of passion and elevation, yet she will not the act of random and utterly without system. So nature is systematic, scientific. Nature is not whimsical. Further, nature is the original and vital underlying principle in all cases. But system can define limits and fitting seasons. How beautifully the critics have said that when you are applying technique, it means it has a limitation. But nature is uncontrolled by any limitations, by rules and regulations. So, to nature is unbound, and whatever nature makes, creates, is unpremeditated. Moreover, the expression of the sublime is more exposed to danger when it goes its own way without the guidance of knowledge. So, sublimity cannot be or should not be without guidance, because you need to have the knowledge of rhetorics and prosody, the literature, knowledge. When it is suffered to be unstable and unballasted. So, if you do not have the knowledge, your sublimity will go distracted this side and that side, and it will not be able to maintain its beauty, sublimity and aesthetics. Okay, so it is true that it often needs the spark, the thirst, but it is also true that it is often needs to carve. You cannot go without guidance. It is to carve, it is to maintain, for the sake of the sublimity, for the sake of the dignity of a writing. It needs to be carved, it needs to be controlled by the rules and regulations and by the knowledgeable person. So, Demosthenes, who was a critics, Demosthenes expressed his view with regard to human life in general, that good fortune is the greatest blessings, while good counsel, which occupies the second place, is hardly inferior in importance. So, good fortune is good because it is gifted by God, but good counseling is also not inferior. Means, if somebody can guide the sublimity, sublimity can also be elevated and great. Okay, so he since he says it is the absence contributes inevitably to the ruin of the former. So when you are guiding somebody, it means counseling, if not inferior to good luck, it means that you are somehow killing the gift of good luck, because if I am having a good luck and I can create a poem which is elevated, which is good, which is great, and you are a poet and somebody is counseling you, guiding you to write, it means that this will be artificial and this will be natural. So sublimity cannot be artificial sublimity should be natural. But Demosthenes sounds little anti-aristocrats, okay, anti-aristocratic view. This we may apply the diction means style, nature occupying the position of good fortune, art that good counseling. Most important of all, we must remember that the very fact that there are some elements of expression which are in the hands of nature alone can be learned from no other sources than art. That is why the critic of those who desire to learn were to turn these matters over in his mind, that we would no longer be regarded and the discussion of the subject as superfluous or useless. So in this second chapter, he says that any writer who wants to learn this sublimity from apart from the nature, the art, okay, may have some superfluous effect or useless effect in their writing. So as a critic, Longinus says that if I say the critic of those who desire to learn were to turn these matters over in his mind, they should think that he would no longer, it seems to me, regard the discussion of the subject as superfluous or useless. Longinus is in favor of the sublimity by means of the poet's own greatness, own teachings, and he says that nature is great. The sublimity of nature is natural, but it does not mean that one cannot learn this sublimity and his writings should not be called as superfluous or useless. So this is the second chapter he explains. I hope this will help you understanding the beginning of Longinus on the Sublime. In the second lecture, in the second video, I will teach you from the original passage by quoting from on the Sublime. Okay, so till the time, have a good day and take care of yourself. Thank you.